back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively at Drug City, and I'm positively trying to get comfortable. You comfortable, Bill Yerman?
I'm very comfortable.
You comfortable, Hot Rod?
Totally, brother.
All right, man. I got dangerously delicious pies on hand here. It's all brought to you by our friends at Window Nation. I'm put the funny floppy hat on here. 866-90 Nation. I forgot the hat yesterday. Also forgot the crab mallet. I went to the damn crab house at Costas, and I forgot my Raskin Global crab mallet. This is a special crab mallet. You guys both eat and drink. I've seen you eat and drink beer at Costas. It has the beer bottle opener on the side.
Brilliant.
Leonard Raskin is first class. Also brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. We're giving these away here at Drug City today. Chuck is going to get one. He's going to bring us more egg creams. We have great guests. Steve Elliott from Elliott Chiropractic, who adjusts me mentally, spiritually. Get him a sandwich and a cocktail. And Hot Rod is here. Dangerously delicious pies. Billy Yerman. What do I say of you? Formerly of Continental Title, now a consultant? Or did I just say my friend?
Yeah,
my buddy?
I think at this point, friend works well.
All right, that's good. Rod, we used to be like friends, and then you went to Austin, and you joined a band, and you made a baby, and then Waylon, and then you're making pies. Then there's a location here and a location. But on the internet, we're great friends.
Yeah, we're friends. Dude, we're all
Fix your thing here.
we're friends for life, bro.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
All right, man. What's going? It's my 25th anniversary. I don't know if you heard.
I did.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
okay.
man.
And I wanted to drag people to Dundalk. And I wanted to drag people to Drug City above Bill Yerman's head that may or may not understand the power of Drug City. Steve Elliott, who's been my chiropractor for 25 years, and I'll let him tell that story, had never been to Drug City. Everybody's been to Costas. People come to Dundalk for different things. But Drug City is an institution. If they don't have it, you don't need it. That's sort of the catchphrase here. I've been wanting Hot Rod on for like 6 months. I've been chasing him around. I thought, don't want to bring him over to the studio. Don't really want to do him on a Zoom. It's proper that we would have a crab cake. It's somewhere. And he's on the road, touring or whatever. And I was in here about 8 weeks ago, and Chuck's got pie. And I looked, that's dangerous pie. And he's like, yeah, sure it is. I said, done. I texted him right away. I said, I'm doing the anniversary show, August 4th. Come on over. And I didn't think you were going to bring me a gift, dude.
Oh, tell it. Man, come on, man.
What'd you bring me?
I brought you a pineapple right side up pie that my son Waylon made for you.
Now, Waylon, the last I knew Waylon, he was like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a little
He's
boy
20. He's 20.
Wearing boots,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, totally, man.
You named him after Waylon Jennings, right?
Yes.
Of course you did.
Yeah, well,
I remember talking to you in the studio about this.
Yeah, because I was going to name him Leon.
How old is he? 20? What?
20. He's almost 21.
All right, so it was 14. I mean, it's probably 2007. How long? You've been 20 years with pies, right?
Yeah, 2003. March of 2003 is when we started.
All right, so
on the legit, we were on the Pie Underground before that,
What was that, a food truck? What was the underground then?
That was when I was traveling around. When I was touring my band, I'd have pies at the merch table, CDs, T-shirts, and pie.
Where did you make the pie when you were on the road?
People's houses. That's why, it helped to find places to stay. I remember I'd be at a show, I'm looking for a place to stay, and mostly people who had kitchens were willing to help me out. They'd always have an extra room, in their place. People that didn't bake were usually pretty much just like. They probably had one to offer you speed and freaking sleep next to the cat.
Everybody had an oven.
Yeah.
Your first question: how big's your oven?
Totally. Sometimes. Once, what was cool is the first time I did it, the word traveled fast that I was running on pies, and I made 60 pecan pies and loaded them in the van with with some dry goods and stuff and all my amps and stuff, and we hit the road, man. And I honestly. My tour that I just did out of the West Coast, man, I had pie at every show. Every 3 days I get an Airbnb and bake a ton of pies, show up at the shows. I mean, it's, that gets you rolling. I'm making tons of dough, like, performing. It's like having pie really gets me into better places. Honestly, it does, for real. It's been cool, man. It's like this whole 20 years, like, going through a lot of stuff, had a lot of shops. Now it's back down to 2, which is totally
Where killed. Are you now? You're in Hamden?
Hamden on the Avenue, 810 West 36th Street, and then 2835 O'Donnell Street in Canton Square.
I haven't had a whole pie of yours, and the last whole pie I had was savory. It was a steak pie. It was a smog, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I know the names of all his pies. And I haven't talked to him in 10 years, but I know the name of every one of your pies.
Because you were part of it. You helped out so much when we first opened the place up in Federal Hill.
Oh, thank you, man.
Went around and you'd have me to your studio out there in the woods.
Always, yeah.
And, dude, it was so killer, man, because like Jonathan Ogden, all these crazy, big, gigantic football motherfuckers. They'd be part of my life. Yeah. Dudes come by. They'd have a pie. They'd hold a pie in their hand. and it was like the size of their hand, dude. Like their hand, like a 10-inch
This thing.
pie.
Oh, yeah.
it
John
was just
Ogden's hand goes,
He just
yeah.
grabbed that sucker. It was huge. It was crazy, awesome. Always, pretty fun. Cruising into this.
Billy, how are you going to top this? The pie
This
guy.
is going to be hard because all I want to do is eat this pineapple thing
tear it
that's in
up.
front
So
of me.
this is the pie. Every time you put this up, I perv it out and I make a comment and I'm like, damn, I want one of those, Because I went to Hawaii for the second time back in April, and you know why everything's pineapple or coconut cream pie. My God, I love banana.
Totally.
The island stuff. But my mother used to make pineapple upside down cake in her little oven over on Bank Street in Dundalk, and here in Dundalk, I should say. And but the cake, I love pineapple upside down cake, so I get it at Wise Market sometimes. But I'm a small guy. I'm a small dessert eater. My wife is diabetic,
Right.
so everything I do comes in kitty cups in that way, right?
I dig it.
So every morning I've had, oh my God, dude, since the last time I've seen you, I've eaten your pie 200 times? I mean, seriously.
Yeah,
I mean, but I always get the little guys.
Yeah, but you always, you know what's the greatest thing? You always let me know. It's like it's not, we haven't been in contact with each other because you always let us, hey, Rod, just had a piece of pie.
When
or
I
something
think
like
of
that.
dangerously delicious pies, I don't think of Drug City. I don't think
No,
of all
man,
your
totally.
vendors. I think of underneath the viaduct, under 83, at
Oh, yeah,
because
farmers market.
every Sunday morning,
morning.
my wife goes to the farmers market,
Yeah, it's a
and
gem.
you're there, and it's
Still.
4 for $20 or 3 for whatever the price was.
5 for 20, still.
They're still $4 a
She's
piece.
they're not. John and Mary run underneath the bridge, so they have this deal. But now they're not doing mini pies. It's like they're doing all slices now. Sliced up.
Right,
So
they
you-
did
five-
slices
five-
in the plastics.
Yeah, five
Okay.
slices.
So I would go over there, and my wife and I'd say, all right, we're going to have, all right, we got to get a smog. We got to get a chicken pot pie because we love that. Let's do a couple savory. And then it's like, what do you got? Well, are we feeling blueberry? Are we feeling, white trash creme brulee?
Dude,
what are
that's
you feeling?
awesome. See, exactly, because you're a badass. Come on, man. Because you
Of course
know what
I
you're
am.
talking about, dude. See, I love
Shit.
talking pie with people who know
Dude,
that.
you think I've been here
That's
25 years and I know what's going on? I looked at Chuck, tell him. I saw that pie, and I'm like, that's Rodney's pie. And the next thing I know, you're here.
Yeah,
you
man,
know?
that's awesome.
How do you make a creme brulee pie?
Well, it's not really. It's basically you're making a custard pie, but it's all.
But you're not doing the
Great
blowtorch.
song,
could,
by the way.
if you want.
You could do it
Great
with it.
song. One of the greatest songs ever. Led Zeppelin custard pie.
Yeah.
God, what a riff
But
page, huh? And
it's just
fine.
basically of some cinnamon, and I bust out a meringue and fold it into the custard, and all the air and the egg white cooks, grabs a whole some cinnamon,
Wow.
makes a crust on top.
So your
it has
beautiful
a
little
crust.
6-year-old
So if you
boy
wanted
made
to hit it
this.
like
Look at
that, you
this.
could. I'm not certain it's going to be
Right.
exactly
Like
the
a
same
creme brulee.
thing.
But that sounds great.
That's the best way to describe like white trash creme brulee.
Rod, I will be at the pie place.
Dude,
very
White
soon,
trash
probably
is
right
all?
after this.
Oh, no,
Dundalk, yeah, baby. Drug City, come on. Drug City, dude, I tell you, I was so psyched to come here today.
Okay, so I was trying to get people to come to Drug City, and I did the show on Thursday at Costas, and last time I saw you was in Costas.
It was.
I saw your brother in Costas last week
We
when I didn't have
love- we
electricity.
love Costas
so
crowd.
I
That's
just run
awesome.
into people. The reason Drug City is my sponsor is the good-looking guy, the ZZ Top dude over here,
Oh,
Chuck.
hell yeah, Chuck. Man.
So Chuck he has his own bar seat at Costas. It's right near the men's room. I don't know why. It's close to Mr. Costas' office. Maybe he's protective. I don't know. Right with the lottery machine. He's in the back where the whiskey and cash sign is, right? I was in there, it was a year ago. I was in there a year ago watching a ball game, and ZZ Top comes up to me and says, hey, I'm Chuck. I know who you are. He said, I work at Drug City. You do this crab cake thing. Why don't you come to Drug City and get a crab cake? And I'm like, dude, I've been going to Drug City since before I remember. Like, I've been going to Drug City since I was 3 years old. I bought every wrestling magazine, 1977, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. Kevin Eck would call me, and he'd say, the new magazines are in at Drug City. Boom, my brother have to bring me down here. And then I hit that golden age of puberty, and I stopped caring about that, and I went into baseball and football, and I would get all the preview magazines down here because they had an incredible periodical and magazine section in the front.
You say for fantasy.
1982. Talk about fantasy. This is before they had different. I'm gonna give you a different kind of fantasy. 1982. I'm 14, 15, and this new thing happens. The VCR, videotapes. So the doc here decides he's going to go into the videotape business, like every corner store did. Before Blockbuster, it's
awesome.
So he had videotapes here when I started to drive. Not 83, 84, 85, 86. When my girlfriend was pregnant, I was 16 years old, summer 84. When Purple Rain came out on videotape, he had 98 copies here. And if you didn't rewind, he'd charge you $1. You know, so but the really thing you need to know, and this is what makes the fountain so special, where your pie is sold.
Totally.
We talked about custard pie. We talked about Led Zeppelin. You made some little snide double entendre. That room had a special saloon door, and above it, it said 18 and over. I think you know what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah.
There was a poster of Ginger Lynn on that wall. There was a poster of Christy Canyon on this wall. John C. Holmes is back here. And, you know, Harry Reams is in the corner. So that was the room that is now the fountain. When videotapes went out,
It looks like it. It looks like that room.
They turned it into a tanning room. It became a This is an entrepreneurial 1954, whatever it takes, including fresh egg creams. You going to brag on the Almond Smash?
No,
you heard
good.
Almond Smash, you lost your mind. Didn't you?
I didn't even fucking know what. Pardon me, I didn't know what the heck it was.
You're going to make an Almond Smash pie.
Yeah.
I prefer the FCC. There's an F in FCC.
Yeah, okay, cool.
That it says federal.
Okay.
I had Gina Shock on the show last week at
sweet.
the Beaumont. I had to get 16 F's out of it. Yeah. It took me less time than I thought because you know what's beautiful now? In the old days, she'd say F and F, and I have to go back and listen to all 31 minutes. And no. Transcription now, baby. You just throw it up the otter.
Oh, really?
Every FU, it's like Holden Caulfield, New York, and Catcher on the Rye. Every FU is right there on the wall. You can scrub it, you know, get some GP66 out, make it go away. But I love Drug City, and guys like you that maybe not from this part of town, Andy, that was the case. John Maroon, that was the case. Steve Elliott, who's been my chiropractor, my friend, he hears me on the radio bragging about it. And when I said you can go to Costas, and that's usually a good thing for the Yerman family, right? Everybody loves crabs. Or you can go to Drug City. People are intrigued by this place.
Oh, totally. This place is awesome.
Now, have you been here before?
This is the first time.
And they sell your pie.
Yeah.
Chuck!
That's not that's not Chuck's fault. I just haven't been around, had time to get over it. But
Chuck's in a band, too. You guys need to know each other.
We do know each other. Yeah.
Oh, you played his pie shop. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So it is all in the family.
Take it easy, bro.
Let's make sure. Well, I mean, they got the Harka ice cream. They do everything uber local, including WNST.
Yeah, that's awesome, yeah.
I mean, when George found out I was Dundalk, he's like, we got to do this. And next thing you know, I'm here 4 times a year, and we shop in the liquor store, the whiskey here, and the tasting room.
That looks amazing.
It's amazing. So for your place and the entrepreneurial thing, and you've been in and out of business 100 times, you said you downsized. Give me, what's your life like right now? Because when I think of you, I think you slinging pie, not necessarily being in a rock and roll band. And I don't know do you consider yourself a pie maker or do you consider yourself a musician? What are you?
Well, right now I'm a pie man all the time. I mean, it's like that's how I make my bread, you know.
Right.
I still tour, but if it wasn't for pie, I wouldn't be able to do that stuff. I mean, it's getting better and better every time. But if I have 30 people show up in freaking,
Idaho, go ahead.
Idaho. If I have 30 people show up in Idaho, I'm styling, brother. Because if I'm in Idaho, man, I'm way the fuck out there. When I was out there in February in a snowstorm, I played in Idaho, Magic City. Awesome.
So you're still making pies out on the road?
Oh yeah, totally, man.
Do you take the ingredients with you when you travel?
I start out with a good amount, like usually at least a case of apples. Maybe 2. Like this trip, I took 2 cases of apples. I had all my brown sugar, flour, fat. Stuff.
And then you just have to find a kitchen in
I rent a house.
location.
I always rent a house every 3 days.
Brilliant.
I rent a house. He's been
doing this a while, man.
All you care about is the oven. I mean, how great is that?
Yeah, and usually the last couple places, the last trip, every place I stayed, and I had also had people that I've known for 20 years that have been doing this. That I still go to their house and do it up. You know what I mean? Sometimes they help me out. It's totally fun.
What kind of music do you play? I missed that.
I want to say sort of honky tonk, hard blues, country rock and roll.
Great. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I love Steve Ray Vaughan.
I would say anything that would be in the Willie Nelson family.
My stuff is right now.
Yeah, like anything that's in the Willie Nelson families, I would put Rod's music in that. See, he's a music guy. So we met at an all-star game in New York. A baseball fan, but the Springsteen connection between he and I. What shows you going to?
I'm going to Philly, and then I'm going.
Well, they moved Philly.
No, they moved Washington. They moved D.C.
They moved D.C. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Philly is, I think, the 15th or 16th, and then Baltimore, September 9th, and then D.C. is the end of September.
Tell him and our audience and the friends we have here at Drug City how effing crazy you are in regard to you and your daughter showing up, wristbanding. When they played in Baltimore, I did my show at Faithley's that morning, and I walked by, and they're in line at 8 o'clock in the morning.
At Faithley's downtown?
Downtown, yeah.
No shit.
I do it there all the time. Man.
My daughter.
They got a crab cake. I've been there. It's like you. They got pie and a stage. You're there. Right.
My daughter caught the Springsteen bug from me when she was about 8 years old. I took her to Philadelphia. The NSYNC or whoever, Justin Timberlake, he was playing Friday night, and Bruce was playing Saturday night. It was a father-daughter, blah, blah, blah. We go. She literally falls in love with Bruce, and to this day, she's now 29 years old. She's been to over 30 shows, which means I've probably been to, one? I'm in the twos, I would think, probably.
200?
I'm in the
200.
one. Yeah, I'm in
How long have you been seeing him?
I've been seeing Bruce since 1980.
That's tight.
And I've never missed a tour, and I've been to many shows on each of the tours. So anyway, so my daughter picks up this habit, and now she literally is in love with him. Like,
I said to her, she's in line for the 18th time on the tour in Baltimore, waiting all day to get into the pit, to do all this stuff. I said to her, I've done all that, and I know Nils. So Nils would always leave me wrist. I mean, I've carried Bruce's ass. I've had my hand on Bruce's ass a dozen times. I have video of a half dozen of it, right? I've had my hand on his boot, the whole deal. I've asked Bruce a question. I mean, I'm a Bruce guy, right? But so I said to her, you've done this 18 times on the tour. How about next week when they're playing in D.C. or whatever? I said, you just go down and we get a beer and we hang out. We'll go down at 3 o'clock. We'll put some beer in the boot of the car. We'll pick some sandwiches up at Drug, whatever. We'll take some crab cakes, whatever. And we'll just listen to Bruce in the car in the parking lot at full volume and have a really good time and walk into the arena and just have fun. Wouldn't that be nice? And she's like, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that. Literally, she said, I don't think I can do that.
So I don't know if you know this, but my daughter is going to have a baby around Thanksgiving.
She shouldn't be camping out there.
Well, here's the thing. That little baby has now been to 3 Bruce shows because she was pregnant back
prenatal Bruce.
Exactly. So that's probably a record. I mean, you think how many
this kid's got a hungry heart.
Right. This kid is, 4 months in utero. Anyway, so she went to her doctor's last week, and the doctor said,
this sounds like a punchline.
you can go to the Bruce show, but we're concerned that you should not stand up in the pit. She'll be at this point, 6 months pregnant, and she's so upset that she can't be in the pit, and we have to sit in the crowd. So upset.
That's
She's making a baby. Tell her this is.
I've told her.
Is it a boy or a girl? We know.
It's a boy.
Bruce.
Maybe Nils. Wouldn't that be a great name?
Oh, Nils is a good name.
Well, yeah, that's a really good name. The guy that saved my wife's life, his name's Niels. So that's
Right,
close enough.
right.
Absolutely. Bill Yerman is here. He has been my legendary friend for many, many times, many years. Sponsor, Continental title, all these things. Hot Rod is here. It was very nice of you. And Steve, you got to get in on this too, because John Maroon said some stuff almost made me cry about, working with me and my WNST media kit. I need testimonials. So Rod's already given me a testimonial saying, I hope you saw a lot of pie. Yeah. So he's brought me you call this pineapple upside down? Is that
pineapple right
side up?
Yeah.
And Waylon's 20?
Yep.
He's slinging pie.
Yes, he is.
Now, what's your favorite pie?
Apple pie.
Just straight apple, nothing weird.
What apples?
Granny Smith.
Nice.
Every time. It's like, I just love that pie. Also, it's a really great pie. Tough. Everybody's made a pie. Oh, my God. I've heard every story about how
my grandmother's apple pie.
Right? I'm telling you, in a day I made more than your grandmother made in a
her
life. But I feel for these old ladies. Their hands are all busted up, and they got arthritis, and their shit. Everything's messed up. I'm getting that now.
Oh, you're that guy.
And my shoulders and hands and stuff is like, and I'm playing music too, so sometimes I'll be cramping up while I'm playing. But shit, it's like that doesn't confront me, man. If I'm playing.
What is it? You have to knead the dough.
Well, you don't really need it, but it's like you're doing a lot of the same. Like you're really getting into
motion.
The same motion. All that rolling, rolling dough out, man. It's all
You're not getting any younger, Rod.
No, dude. As long as I'm not bent over a table,
So
they find
yesterday,
me locked up. That'd be terrible.
I was
bad.
supposed to have Al from Fenwick Bakery come over to Costas yesterday. He's so busy. It's peach cake season, right? And have you had peach cake before?
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
Right. So it's my favorite thing, peach cake. And it's like eggnog. You get it 2 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right now's the best.
So I want to ask you this because I would have asked Al this because he's the old school baker. I mean that place has been there a million years. And if you haven't had peach cake, you haven't been to Fenwick.
I thought they were selling that place.
I don't even. I don't think. I don't know. It's there. But either way, I went and got 4 peach cakes yesterday. Took them over to Costas. Al couldn't be there. And the one thing I would say about his peaches, and when I bite into that peach cake, it's clearly not Libby's out of a can. These are real peaches. They've been treated, soaked, worked with. They're ripe beyond, like when I gave a piece of it. Yeah, I gave a piece of it yesterday. I cut it, and I wound up sending Bob Nussgaard home with half of it, and Dennis Colazzos from Coons Baltimore. I gave Dennis the piece. I'm like, look, let me move away, because when you bite into it, it's going to squirt all over the place. And that's what... With apple pie and with fruit pies, knowing that right moment of it being where you want to, it's ripe, right? Because we've all had a peach that sucks. You eat a hard peach, but on day 3, that peach, you got to find that sweet spot. It's like a banana, but with fruit, you're just like, I got a case of apples. It's like, hey, apples keep better though, right?
Apples, a lot of times when you're buying apples, you already buy them from somebody who's been keeping them for months. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Granny Smith.
That's why you can get consistency in that product.
We try to. I mean, it's like a lot of times you're getting most of your apples from like out west, and the only certain part of the time of the year here be like springtime. You get really good local apples, but for the most part, when we're buying from our suppliers, when we go from our produce guys, they're coming from Washington.
Can people taste the difference in the different apple pies?
You know what? Totally. I mean, I don't know. You can taste the difference because even if it's all Granny Smiths, sometimes some are more have more water in them, and the ones that don't have are real tight.
Yeah.
Are real and crisp. They're so tart, man. They're awesome.
Yeah, I love those.
You can tell those, and that makes a big difference because sometimes you be making apple pie be almost exactly the same way you make it every
want
time.
it more tart.
I want it tart as it can possibly
Agree.
be.
Really?
Yeah, because then you brown sugar, the butter, that mixes
You don't
up.
want it sweet to start with.
Do you
bad.
you put cinnamon?
See, that's what I'm learning.
A little
bit of cinnamon.
Well, that's why I'm asking
You know why? Check this out, man. That's why the French, they're tough. This lady, when we had our place in Patterson Park, she's from France, and she barely spoke a word of English. She's like, I love your apple pie. She goes, you're not like all the other Americans that just dump cinnamon and everything. She was all pissed. That's exactly what she said. You dump cinnamon and everything. I was like, well, I'm happy for you. I was also like, please get out of here. But she was like, I thought she was going to start going off on me, but she was like, she went off on all Americans.
All Americans.
But she liked the pie, so that's cool.
My wife loves baking, and her sister, it's like their thing. Every year at Christmas, they've been going up to, give me the name of the mill in Vermont that has the flour.
Bob Hodgkins?
No, it's a big company. I always forget the damn name of it. It's a
Gold medal.
It's like that, but it's not that. It's
King Arthur.
King Arthur, thank you. It's a King Arthur bakery. That's exactly what it is.
That's good shit.
So King Arthur Bakery, she and her sister get in the car Christmas week, and they do a Saturday afternoon baking class. They did pie a year and a half ago, and she came home with this apple. She learned about crust.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've baked 1,000 pies. My mother baked 1,000 pies. I thought I knew what I was doing. I've watched, food TV and this and that. But when she went there, she came home and found different things about techniques that, like, not all pies are created equal, right?
No, for sure not. But the only thing about pies is while people are very, very passionate about their pie, like to the point of very angry, mean mother. Like,
right, that's this French lady. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, she was cool compared to people that make you something. You already know. You can this almost is completely true. You can judge what their pie is going to taste like by how their personality is.
What?
Hell yeah, dude. If they got a whack personality, that pie is going to be messed up. Guaranteed. And they're going to be like, and they're going to be so proud of that pie. They're going to go off and they're like, did you like your pie? And you're like, it's pretty good, You didn't like it?
It's their baby.
They get psycho, man. And that's just one person. One lady will be like, like a dog got beat or something. It'd be like, because their pie's terrible. It's just the way the pie tasted weak. It didn't have anything in there. But she was very meek, herself. But she was like so personally upset by the fact that wasn't your favorite pie. I've had to judge these pie baking competitions. I had to taste 80 pieces of pie.
So people say to me, this crab cake tour, when are you going to declare the best one? And I'm like, man, the best one's usually the one I'm eating. I mean, I've had a couple of bad ones, you know what I mean? I told this story a couple weeks ago, but I was on the crab cake tour it was last summer, or maybe the summer before. It was last summer. And we were going down to see Styx or a band down at Nissan Pavilion. So I decided to get a crab cake in Montgomery County. It was when I was doing all the counties. So it was 2 years ago.
That's a terrible mistake.
So I had a tip on a place.
I'm sorry. I love that you love crab cakes so much, bud.
All right, well, you love pie so much.
I do. I know.
Right? So I get a tip on this place, and it's in this market, and it's way too close to Daniel Snyder's house, right? So it's like right down the street. It's in Potomac, right? So I go in, and it's this really upscale village. It's a very, very Tony
Potomac
area.
Village.
Yeah. Very, very Potomac. So there's a it's like a deli, a little bit carry out, cold, hot food, whatever. And I walk in, and it has a big sign on it, we ship our crab cakes, and I'm like, okay, I'll have 2 to go. And we took them, and I left them in the bag, put them in the bag in the backseat. We did what I want your daughter to do. Tailgate. We're going to get down there early. Cannabis is legal. You got vodka. Get some whiskey. Bring some drinks. Bring a slushie. Whatever. But sit outside. Enjoy we do all that. So we're sitting out there having some beers, some music on. Get the bag. Let's get those crab cakes out. We get them out. And I looked at it. I'm like, what the hell is that? What's in that? Because I'm always examining. I'm like, is that, what do they have? Celery seed? Is it mustardy?
Red peppers.
What's the filler? What's the slurry? What's going on in there? Peppers, if you're in a Greek place. Right. And I love that, but some people hate it. I looked at it, and I took a bite of it. I started chewing, and I had a little weird consistency, and I crunch. I crunch again. I crunch, and I tasted celery. I'm like, that's celery. And my wife's like videotaping me. Like, I can't put this on the internet because this is a fail. Yeah, I'm like, but I want to figure out what the hell it is.
Right.
I took another bite of it, and I swear to you, that they took a chicken salad recipe. And whatever you would put in a chicken salad, literally, like a mayonnaise celery thing.
Nestor.
And put crab meat, blue crab meat in it.
Real quick. How long have you been in Baltimore?
In my life, I've never seen such a thing.
Why in the world would you ever order a crab cake outside
I was trying to do every county.
I understand your point, but you get nothing.
It says Maryland crabs. It's Montgomery County. It's not Montgomery.
Baltimore
it's not
crabs.
Maryland. It's Virginia. I don't even know what it is.
Should be
They
Baltimore.
make better crab cakes in Virginia. Rodney's here. He's Dangerously Delicious Pie. Tell people how the best way to get this. And places like Drug City have it. I go into restaurants sometimes, and they say, we have dangerous pie for dessert.
Yeah.
That is your pie, your thing. You're in more places than 2, right?
Like about 8 places. I gotta be honest with you. John and Mary do a lot of supplying and shipping pies out of the Canton location. They kill it. We got about 8 places. I want to say that Dundalk is probably one of our biggest places where we sling pies at restaurants. My place is a straight up dive bar, pie shop, and my place we only take about a couple places up in town, up north. Off Hamden Way.
Okay, all right. So it's you want people to come down to Hamden and have your experience.
Totally, dude.
Right.
It's the baddest ass thing you've ever seen. We have killer music. We have music 2 or 3 times a week. I built this really cool stage out back. It's a really living organism, dude. It's like
only in Hamden, baby.
It's constantly evolving. It's really, really cool, and you really get a vibe of what we're all about. You know the deal. It's pie and rock and roll, and it's totally 100% the way it is. Canton's killer, but it's really we're producing lots of pies out of there, which is killer. My place is like you come at nighttime and hang and have some drinks.
When are you playing?
I'm playing. When do I play? Next, not till the 12th of September at Metro Gallery with this guy named Austin Lucas, who's amazing. Really great singer-songwriter, honky tonk.
Do you write songs also?
Oh yeah. I got 2 records getting ready to come out. Got my Love of My Heart, Pistol in My Hand.
I had John Allen on yesterday, and we were talking about his 5 bands, and he's putting Child's Play back together to open for Kicks, like all this stuff. Musicians, forever. It's forever. As long as you can do it, you're going to do it.
You got no choice.
You have a talent that others wish they had. I love music. but I can't do anything with it.
I'm going to tell you something.
I can listen.
It's a wild thing, man. It's like being a musician and songwriter. It's a curse as well
I
as
think
being
it's
a blessing.
the biggest gift in the world.
It's so much fun.
Right.
And also
pick up a
you say
guitar
that,
and
but
just start playing. When
you say that, but you never heard my stuff yet. So I'm like, yeah, it could be
I'm
the
gonna
big.
come see you.
It might not be the
You
biggest.
can get some pie from him?
Yeah, come on.
Oh my God, yeah, I'll be
Stop
in
by.
I will.
Something by.
All right,
I will.
last thing before I get Steve in here, and I'll let you get back to slinging pies. You can hang. You're a consultant. You can hang
Yeah.
out all day.
Yeah,
I want to get
consultancy.
Rod back to slinging. Sports, and you know me through sports, and you obviously been a listener and been involved in sports forever. I began this with Maroon and Andy in the other segment. As I hit 25 years, I've been going through all of the stuff that launched the company and what I dreamed and believed in 98. And I take myself back to 98 and say, well, we had the Barney uniforms, and maybe one day the Ravens will be considered a real NFL team at that point, right? The Orioles are coming off a championship, and there's Davey Johnson, and the owner's a jerk, and he's about to really screw things up royally, and maybe we knew that intellectually, but we didn't believe it. Right now, we have a different belief system here in regard to both of these teams.
But it took a whole generation, unfortunately.
Well, it took me 17. It's been 17 years since the Orioles threw me out. They've won one playoff series. It's vindicated me. Harbaugh's won 2 playoff games since I wrote a book 10 years ago.
Stop writing.
So, well, I would say this has been a dark sort of, and the plague and the city and Freddie Gray and just all of it. And 100 losses and 100 losses and 100 losses, and a football team that's mainly, no offense to anybody with a purple lawn, been disappointing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
agree.
been disappointing in the end, right? Right now, right now, because of the baseball team, it's on August 4th, and they're in first place, and the Yankees it's almost like dogs and cats, but there is a feeling about sports that only sports can do. I mean, really.
Agree.
We've had plagues, we've had riots, we've had racial problems. We've had a president that's a criminal and should have been under a jail a long time. We've had all of these things happen, but all of a sudden, baseball every night, the hope of football, kids going back to school, employment's up, inflation's up, interest rate, all that. But, like, in our town, there's something about the Orioles playing. You know what time they play tonight. You know who they're playing. Mets are in town. Like, all of that. You might be going to a game or thinking about a game or whatever. That's where we grew up, right?
Yeah.
And that was gone. And I've never been more vindicated or validated for doing Free the Birds than saying this is what it was supposed to be like the whole time. I'm sure you feel that in your pie shop. I know you gathered a dozen dudes to watch an Oriole game on a Sunday night at Costas, and that all of your guys were like, this hadn't happened in 15 years, So we're all coming together as a community in a different way, and sports is doing that.
Yep, I agree. It's a wonderful point. My wife is just amazed at how into this team I am. And the challenge is I've shut down baseball for 10 years.
You missed
so.
it.
I missed it. So when we get like Jack Flaherty, I got to go look him up and see. I don't know offhand about him.
And by now,
So
his
far
mother flew to California.
Exactly.
You know the whole story.
Exactly.
Right?
So my
You're
point
in
is,
on the soap opera.
I'm in, and it changes. How when we're having dinner, like all the things in your life.
When's your daughter having a baby?
Thanksgiving.
Well, all right. After the parade.
After the parade, sometime in that.
Do you like how I do that, Rod?
Yeah, that was good.
Exactly.
Well, you're not like a P1 sports guy, but like you feel it, right?
Yeah. Oh, kidding me? I love football, man. I love football. I love baseball. I mean, I played tennis. That's my sport.
I play tennis too.
I coach. Really?
Yeah, I'll go hit with you.
I'd love to hit with you, man. I coached last year. High school. Coached at Catonsville High School last year.
Does this look like
how
a
did
tennis
you do
coach
it?
to you?
I would not have thought that.
They went from one win, 7 losses to we were 4-4.
Fantastic.
I had 3 people in the three students went to the States.
Are you doing it again this year?
No,
One and done.
The kids. I mean, there's 2 kids that were my best kids. They were the worst. They're hardcore kids to deal with. So I decided I'd wait till they graduate. Maybe I'll come back next year. But yeah, it was. Kids are tough, man.
Okay.
It's not like when we were kids.
It's even harder now.
It totally is because they don't. They
Information
they have their
flow.
stuff with them.
Right.
You can't even fight it, But I enjoyed it.
That's
And I
great.
really have a lot of respect for coaches because that's a hard gig for a little bit of compensation.
Right. It's not for the money. I mean, you're doing
It's
it.
totally.
to
They love
help
it. You
these
love
kids.
it. And it's cool, dude. It's good hanging with the coach when you're hanging out in the lounge with the coaches and with the athletic director's office. It's pretty cool,
This is why I do this, because in moving to Baltimore Positive, part of my brain, you've been a part of this and the
Sure.
strategy of everything I've done the last couple of years. Having these athletes that didn't want to come on the show and teams that didn't want me around, Drug City wants me. You want me to talk about pie. We're friends. We love talking about things. And the centerpiece of all of it all along, the reason I love the teams is because I love Baltimore.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, literally. I mean, the Ravens didn't even exist, I love them because it said Baltimore and it meant something to me, and that's why we all love it. And I think the Orioles are, trying to in their own way. You know why they didn't get Dylan Cease? Because it rhymes with lease. You knew that, right?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Are we getting any closer to a lease?
No.
No. What about?
I mean, if we are, I don't know about
I thought it
it.
was supposed to be 4th of July.
Yeah, right. We're supposed to be the All-Star game, right?
Didn't happen.
Tick tock.
Where is it? Nashville?
Well, our
Is
governor's
that our
going to be
fear?
out with the hose this week. Maybe he can.
All right, maybe you can talk some
All right,
sense.
well, I tell you this: I have a picture of the governor and John Angelos talking on the field last week. There's a cell shot of
Nice.
them talking, so I don't know what that means. So
It means
you know,
they better
I'll
sign
ask
a
Wes
lease
when I
soon.
see Wes. Wes owes me a visit. I'll text him. My thanks to Rodney for the dangerously delicious pie. Allison is here. Oh, my show's going to get good now. I thought Steve came alone. Allison was down in the liquor store, so this is going to get spicy. They made me a Reuben 4 hours ago. Chuck brought it up here with chips with these, what do you call them, Cowboy Ranch chips. They have 55 different kind of potato chips here. When you want a potato chip here, garlic, Parmesan, honey mustard, they do.
They hook you up. I'm going
You're
down.
gonna get a sandwich.
I'm going to go buy everything they have.
And then you're going to go to Costas and get crabs because
And
I
I
know
will
that's
get
why
crabs.
you're taking them home. I know you are.
Absolutely.
Billy Yerman has been my friend forever. You will stay? Or you going to go? What are you going to do?
I'm going to hang out
All right,
for a little
Rodney,
while.
I love you. My
Love you
wife.
too,
My
man.
wife.
Hey, really
is,
nice.
Rod, really
Awesome.
nice to meet you. I'll come see your pie.
This.
Yeah,
This is
hey,
good.
tell her I said hello, would you?
All right, well, help her make pie. You know, like
Yeah, anytime.
She makes a
Hey,
bean apple pie.
we got
Maybe
this.
we could do a pie off. Maybe we should do that. All right, you just dropped the mic in the middle of the
shit,
segment.
sorry.
What the hell's
Sorry.
wrong with you? All right, it's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Bring amateurs here. Bring rock stars here. Get out of here. You're out of here. All right. Just drop it. There you go. Drop the mic. That's perfect. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. We are giving these away here at Drug City. We had a winner. Calvin Statham won $2 yesterday. Talk about music, man. My middle school music teacher and I sang on the street where you live yesterday at Costas on the piano, and it was a thrill for me. So you guys can check that out as well. Also, our friends at I'm wearing the hat. I'm looking for the damn hat. Has it been on my head the whole segment? The whole time. Window Nation is the way to 866-90 Nation. Steve Elliott is here, who has been adjusting me. I've had this problem lately with my back and a little bit of tightness up in my neck. He's helping me out. Allison is here. They're eating sandwiches. We're at Drug City. Baltimore County Executive Johnny O is going to be here a little while later. I'm going to let them eat sandwiches. Bill's going to hang out. Bill Yerman's been my friend for a long time. Springsteen's on tour, so he's back on the show. We're at Drug City. It's the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. It's our 25th anniversary, and we are rambling on with the Raskin Global mallet. I feel like Richard Scher. We're WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking. Baltimore positive and square off.